Interstate 64 over Afton Mountain provides motorists with some of the most spectacular scenery in Virginia. Two overlooks allow travelers to take in the beauty of the Rockfish Valley below. The vista also supplies a scenic backdrop for the VDOT Workers Memorial, a monument containing the names of over 130 state highway transportation workers who died while performing their jobs. Many of these deaths occurred in work zones. The casual observer who stops to glance at the dozens of names on the memorial may be surprised to learn that 80% of work zone deaths are motorists, and the majority of these fatalities are young drivers and passengers.
I kind of tell my guys when we're getting near end of school year, you know it's the last day of school. You know it's the last day of school. Not picking on anybody in particular. Kids has got other things on their mind, and we kind of be aware of it.
We've been inviting the kids over from the high school in driver's education, and we set up a work zone, walk them through it, explain to them what a flag meant and what we're doing there, and hopefully they'll carry this over once they get their license, you know, trying to prepare them.
But preventing work zone crashes takes more than just education. We may be able to reduce the number of work zone accidents by increasing our focus on the way we communicate with the traveling public.
You want to keep up with your signage and really make a run through your work site first thing as soon as you get it set up, and view it from the eye of the traveling public, because sometimes, you know, just all them orange signs become a blur if they're just coming around a curve and they can barely see them.
In the mountains here, sometimes you don't get the best sight distance, and you have to really pick your spots so the drivers or the people are aware of that you are working there.
Arrow boards, signs, and cones all combine to make work zones safer. But VDOT's most valuable resources are our fellow employees.
If you've got a question about it, if it's not a typical setup, you know, if you don't know how to set it up properly, ask somebody. Ask for help. It's never a problem to ask a question, try to get help. It's easier to ask a question and get the right answer or get the help setting it up versus doing it wrong and have something happen and somebody get hurt.
We do take safety first. If we can't do it safe, then we don't do it.
Be alert. Listen out for those things that just don't seem right. Watching out for that particular vehicle that appears to be approaching that work zone just a little bit too fast. And the operative thing is to have that spotter. Those extra set of eyes, they never hurt. We had a work zone that was set up, and we had a tractor trailer that encroached upon the work zone. So it was a good thing that we had our spotter there. He yelled run, and sure enough, that's what we all did. The tractor trailer took out a couple of our barrels, and he was finally caught just a few miles down the road by state police.
We was doing some digging on Highway 58, and it was a 4-lane divided highway, and I had sent one of my co-workers back to do a work zone safety check, making sure the signs was up, the cones were installed. When he left the work zone, he pulled to the crossover, and I heard a thud, and I turned around, and a gentleman had veered across and hit our state pickup and was headed straight towards us. But luckily, because it knocked the wheel off of his truck, he was able to stay inside of the medium and not come. When he come to rest, he was about 20 feet from us. We always concentrate on the traffic behind us. And we've come to realize that the work zone safety is a 360-degree area around us.
Sometimes we'll set up work zones, and because we hear the backup alarms and we hear the tones of the heavy equipment, sometimes those things can kind of, I guess, lull our senses. So what we have to do is every time when we go out, we remind our guys, look, keep abreast as to what's going on, and remember, somebody loves you. So we want to bring home everyone that we send out in the morning, because I don't want to have to make that visit to anybody's house.